Folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about black bull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated? Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, Black Bull Markets.
Or good evening or good morning, depending on where you're listening from, where you're tuning in from. We have Busy Grafton here with us. How's it going? How was your day or how was your night? So we are back at it again today, and we are looking at USD JPY as usual, and see what the market wants to do. I hope everyone had a great day. So if we go back to the daily time frame here on USD JPY, you can see that price have had a bullish day yesterday, and if you were in the live, as I already mentioned, price tends to, when we are in a buy program, price tends to retrace no further than the 50% of the previous day. Like if you're taking this big push that was done on Tuesday, there was no price action below the 50% of that candle. So price retrace back within the first 50% range and go back up again. And today price closed almost at its high. And as we can see, we're already taking out the high of yesterday's. And so for our next target for today would be last Thursday's high that I marked out here. Day's been good, mate. Tuning in from London. Great. Happy to have you here. So far we expect price to continue going higher. As we mentioned yesterday, we want to see some price around that level for this up close candle before the down move here. We want to see some movement around here, some reaction. It might not get there this week, or it might, because as we know, we have CPI coming tomorrow and PPI coming on Friday. So there's definitely room for a lot of movement with those two news that usually has a really high impact on the market. So we're gonna see that's the daily, so we're expecting a bullish day once again. I mean, it can do whatever it wants, definitely, but we're expecting the day to be bullish again. So if we go down to the 1 hour here, we marked up some interesting level. As for if price wants to retrace, sometimes it doesn't. As for retracement, we can look at this 1 hour fair value gap that is here. It is between the 25 and the 15% retracement on the Fibonacci here. And We also have this, I mean, if we go down to the 15-minute time frame, we also have this fair value gap here that was created during New York session 10:15, and it supported price at 12:15. That's London, around London close, I believe, around New York lunch. So it supported price here, and we see a move up. So if price wants to retrace, we might see it go down there. First, taking out this sell side liquidity, it might not reverse. It might not reverse. It might not reverse. Sorry, it might not retrace um, to that level. But if it doesn't want to retrace, we can expect it to take out liquidity and just go back up again. But if it's retracing deep, it might retrace to those level. I'm not expecting any price lower than the 50% level. So busy grafting is saying, is that due to the most recent bullish price action? I get a bit confused on higher time frame bias, and the reason we are seeking for different areas of liquidity pools. So if I go back on the daily time frame here, to understand why price is moving up or down, you have to get the bigger picture. And if you are looking on a daily time frame, we're not even going to the weekly or monthly. If you're looking on the daily time frame here, you see from 20, that was 2020, we had a swing low here, and then price push up, and it came back again, and that was the end of 2020. And then since then, price has been moving up quite nicely, really big push up. But in 2022, that's the end of 2022, I believe, yes, October 2022, we had a deep retracement. And after this retracement in 20, it finished in 2023 in January, we are starting to move a little bit higher again. So in general, we see that USD JPY has been moving higher. In general, we have a bullish trend. After this retracement down, and then we see those movement up, so we know that we started moving bullish again. So price is continuing in the same direction that it was since March 2020. So what price is looking when it's moving is liquidity. Where is liquidity? As ICT usually says it, it's above previous lows and below previous highs. So this is liquidity. So price is trying to reach those levels, but before reaching those levels, it might do up and down. It's not gonna just go up just at once, but it might do up and down. And while it's reaching for those level, it's looking seeking liquidity, engineering liquidity. For example, here in this price action, you can see that price did a little, I mean, did a push up. It clear out this high here. First off, it clear out those highs here, this high here, and this high here. And after that, you can see clearly there's a big fair value gap here inside this daily candle. It was in November, and it reaches into this fair value gap. So usually when you reach into a PD array, you will definitely get a reaction, and that's what we have here. We had a rejection at this fair value gap here. That doesn't mean price doesn't want to go higher, but that just means that price has to react to this area because it's a it's a strong area of um, resistance right here due to this fair value gap. So as we know that mainly USD JPY has been moving up, so we can expect it to continue going up. So after this retracement here, after entering this fair value gap, we started having movement up again. And inside this leg, we have a fair value gap here as well, where price reacted. So here, price reacted and pushed back down. That was last week, first week of August. And then we started moving up again. And this time we have completely filled this fair value gap. So if we're looking for liquidity, it's gonna be above highs here first. This is our first point of liquidity. So as we see that here, if you can see on the daily here, price dip inside of a fair value gap here, and it respected it and pushed back up. That means if our overall bias is long, that means price is really wanting to go up. There's no reason why it should continue going down because it's finding support at this fair value gap here. So we can see clearly here this support area here with this fair value gap, and it pushed back up again. Let's remove this. Let's see a clear chart. And while pushing up, you can see how big the candles are. Like we don't have like let's see, for example, here you see those candles compared to those candles, you can see the difference. It's thinner candles, larger wick, etc. But as you are seeing those candles, let's consider those two candles. You see how big the bodies are. That's also signs that price want to continue higher because we have a lot of volume in those moves. So normally our next level here, because as we've already taken yesterday's high, August 9th, Wednesday, our most our closest logical levels for price to take out would be that one. But as we know that tomorrow we're gonna have a big news, price might not decide to take it out today or tonight. It might wait for the news tomorrow. It might consolidate around and wait for the news tomorrow to push up hard. And Vince is asking, so how do you determine when to take the entry, knowing that it might retrace but is overall bullish? How do you know? It's by watching price action. It's by waiting, by seeing what price is doing. I mean, you never know 100%. You never know 100% what price wants to do. But if you want to know, I mean, it's by waiting and seeing reactions on levels that you have marked up. And sometimes you're gonna miss move. Sometimes you're gonna miss your entry. Just gotta let it run. For example, here, as we have marked it up, it can just take off just like that. It can just take off and never get back down here. And when that happened, usually myself, I am not in a trade because I don't like to chase big moves. Because sometimes the big move starts and then it retrace on you. And with my strategy having a really tight stop loss, it's real difficult for me to take trades in big moves. I prefer slow, constructive moves that's retracing a little bit. That gives me my OTE 62% retracement, come backs up and give me a 50% retracement, come backs down and give me a 25% retracement. It's better like that for me, and I'm more confident to take a trade. So it's Asian session. It's open right now. So we are on the 5 minutes. We can see the sell side liquidity. Sell side liquidity, I mean, liquidity in itself is where stops resides, where we have orders, I mean, sell stops, orders that reside, stop loss, most likely. And as we can see here, we have this low, and this low. Those are relatively equals. Not when we said equal lows, they're not necessarily at the same level, but when you look at them without like watching price to the thick, you might see that they look like it's the same level. For example, if you're trading support and resistance, you will have your support around here, and it will all this will be into your support area. So that's what we call it, equal lows here. So those level most of the time will be swept before there will be breach before price do this its initial move, what it wants to do. Hi Roberto, thanks for having you here today again. Thank you. And we have Vince said gotcha. So definitely daily bias is, to me, the easiest thing to have. To me, entry is the most difficult part of trading. Where knowing where you enter, that's me. Some people it might be easier for them, but to me, knowing where to enter, it's the most difficult thing. But to me, daily bias is the easiest thing. Also, I mean, you will sometimes be wrong about the bias, but to me, it's the most easiest thing to do. And the fact that you're wrong about the bias doesn't mean that you have to be to lose a trade. I mean, you can be wrong about the bias and still have a good trade, because the day moves. Some days we have a move lower and a move higher, and then the days finish in a move lower. Some days we have just a move higher. Some we don't have any retracement at all. It really depends on price, what it wants to do. So right now we are seeing some chaotic movements here. Caesar, happy to have you here back again today. Hope you're doing great. So as we can see here, price after the open drop into this 1 minute fair value gap here. It might just start pushing up right there and then and never go back down. So it took out this low that was created here at 1946, and then it also dropped into the gap. And as we can see, it's starting moving up. I take be careful, be careful. Caesar's driving from work to home. Great. So as we can see now, price hasn't given us any retracement at all. It's already taken yesterday's high and it's pushing up. But let's wait to see. It's early in the session. We are only 8:05, so we might have something. We might have some retracements. if price is not wanting to retrace lower, like to this fair value gap here, we might see some liquidity swept under those lows, and we also have this 5-minute gap here where price might stop here. And as you know, I like my inversion fair value gap. Inside this fair value gap here, you also have an inversion fair value gap, which is this one. I like the confluences of two fair value gaps, one inversion fair value gaps and one fair value gap at the same time. Vance is saying, I noticed that the market doesn't really move much until around 6 p.m. to 6:30 PST. Let me see what time it's that. That's the time. Around 9. It depends. For me, it's around 9 p.m. in Eastern time. It depends. Sometimes it doesn't. Like yesterday, I mean, I believe there was some latency in the market. It didn't want to move higher at all. I mean, I don't think there was any news that it was waiting for it, but in fact, it really didn't want to move higher. It waited for the New York session, I believe, this morning to do the move higher. So as we're seeing here, we're starting to see some movement down. Yes, JPY is definitely an Asian pair. All the JPYs, UA JPY, USD JPY, JBP JPY, but for JBP JPY, we mostly have movements in London. I have traded JBP JPY sometimes, and we mostly have movement in London. That's the most that's the best time to trade GJ. So but for USD JPY, I find it best to trade it whether in Asian or whether in Asia or in New York. And it's as you're saying, it's okay for the market to be slow, mostly during between NFP and CPI and PPI. Those, I mean, usually, I mean, if I were to have to be managing millions of money, I wouldn't trade the first 2 weeks of the months, like any months. The first 2 weeks, NFP, CPI, and PPI, I wouldn't trade it. I mean, sometimes you you can see your setup. I mean, it's your setup. You can recognize it easily, but the market is so rigged, is so weird sometimes, and it doesn't fully give you what you wanted.
Change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. Your check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus,
Although we can definitely push higher without any retracement, but I would favor a retracement below these lows here. But being used to USD JPY, I think it's gonna take out the target and might retrace. I mean, not take out the target necessarily, but move a little bit higher and then retrace to take the lows here, because it's engineering liquidity. If it creates a double, I mean, an equal highs up there, you see this is our most recent high here. If it gives us a second high without taking out this high, it's definitely going for those liquidity down there.
Ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were up top, they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
And unfortunately tonight, I won't be staying for long, because it seems that because I usually don't remember, but it seems that they have just told me that tomorrow is gonna be my birthday, so I'm definitely not gonna stay late tonight. Gotta sleep for the birthday, and tomorrow afternoon I won't be streaming either. Yes, let's take a look at goals as per Medi Medi Medi's request. Let's see what gold is doing. But as you already know, my bias on gold, it was bearish. And again today, I believe when I looked at the chart earlier, we had a beautiful bearish day. And as I've mentioned, like on my live session on, I believe it was Tuesday, yes, I believe. So here you can see my first target here, that was for Tuesday, was the consistent encroachment of this week. You take it out even before expected. And the second target was this low, you take it out. And we had a retracement yesterday, and the retracement was a little bit deep. As you can see, we are currently on the daily time frame, just so you know. As you can see here, we had a retracement to the 0.62 level. That's a beautiful OTE if you're trading the daily time frame. And if we go down to the 1 hour, and just so you know, we are currently inside of a big fair value gap. I believe it is monthly or weekly fair value gap. I believe it is. Yes, I mean I cannot see it here, but I believe we are inside of a weekly fair value gap or monthly. Oh no, it's not a fair. I mean, it's a fair value gap somehow, but it's a BC, buy side imbalance and sell side inefficiencies that was created on the weekly time frame here. We are inside of it. And as you can see on the weekly, we had this low that was the low of the month of June as target, and we also have this low here that was the low of the month of July. Yes, I believe so. Yes, that was the low of, we have the low of July and the low of June as target. As we are going down in price here, you can see this week already did a lot of movements. We take out this previous week low, and we are targeting this week low. It was the week of 10th of July, I believe, the second week of July, and we have those three lows as target for price to take out. So for this week, we've done a lot of travel. So we have gone from the close of the previous week that was at 1942.655, and we are currently sitting at 1960.140, 1960.140, 1916.140. And thank you, Vince. Thank you. 1942, 1960. That's around a lot of movement. So if we go down to the 1 hour, inside this BC, we had, I've mentioned in my previous live on Monday, New York session, Tuesday, New York session, we had this beautiful 15-minute fair value gap that had a lot of reaction inside of it. And then since this retracement, we have seen a lot of movement down. And for today, we had this fair value gap created at 5 that was touching to around 10. Beautiful. And as for today, if we are looking for area of interest, we can see we have a big fair value gap here on the 1 hour, where if price wants to retrace before continuing to its target, it might go there. So let me see. If we go back to the daily here, let's see our range. I usually like to see the placement of any gaps within the range, as I don't consider anything that is not within the first 50% of the candle. So we have this gap that is between 25 and 50%. It's perfect for retracement inside the previous day range. Go down to the 15 minutes again. Okay, so this gap is a 1 hour gap, and we have it here. And on the 15 minutes, we also have this up close candle that is right below the 50%. If price doesn't respect this fair value gap, it might reject at this point here. But definitely, one of my belief in trading is that if prices, I mean, it's my belief, but it's also one of ICT's concept. It's power of three. It's like price. If price wants to go down, it's gonna go up before going down. If price wants to go up, it's gonna go down before going up. And at each new day or even each new candle, you can see that. Like price price opens, like for this candle, price opens here, go a little bit up and go down. Opens here, up and down. For the down close, I mean for the down close candle, for the up close candle, you get opening here, go down and go up. Opening here, go down a little bit and go up. So if price wants to go down, I believe it needs to go up before. So that's why I'm always looking for retracement at new days. Like mostly if I'm trading Asian session, that's when the retracement happens for most of the pairs. When I say most of the pairs, I mean the pairs that moves mostly in New York session. That's what I mean. The pairs that moves mostly in New York session. So they usually retrace a little bit in Asia or London, depends. Some of them doesn't have movements in Asia that much. They do move in London. They do some retracement, and you have the midnight opening price. Usually, price would go above that if it wants to go lower, and if it wants to go higher, price would go below that. Would before its move in New York. So for gold, I expected to um, go back to this level here. Definitely, I don't want to say tonight, but it might be tomorrow in New York session. It might be in London session, but we definitely would want to see that. And on the 15-minute here, you can see some equal highs here. That let us know if price wants to go higher. It might wants to clear out those liquidity that's above those highs here. So I'm always expecting at a new day for price to retrace before continuing its course. That's my, I mean, if I were to say what's my one setup that I would want to trade for the whole life, it would be the daily candle. It would definitely be the daily candle. Previous days high or previous days highs allows my target, my initial target, and 50 to 25% retracement of previous day range as my, I mean, entry area. and my stop loss would be above the 0.75%, because I believe if price is going down hard, if price is going up hard, it wouldn't want to retrace anywhere near the 75% retracement level. It might go down till the 62%, but the 75, if it's going back up to the 75%, you definitely in a market that's tricky. For example, ahead of news, in a news, or the market might be consolidating. Sorry. If the market is consolidating, or we have news, or we are ahead of a news event that's highly impactful, we might see a retracement to the 79, 75%. But if not, we shouldn't see anything above 62%. So my stop would be at 75. I would look to enter around between 50 and 25, and my target would be previous days low or high. Simple. Most of the time, you will get a one-to-one with this strategy, but you will have a high win rate. Your win rate will be very, very high, 80 to 90% win rate with this strategy. But you won't have a high risk reward ratio, because it requires you to have a larger stop. I mean, there are ways to refine your stop placement, but I don't trust them. Mostly with instrument like gold or US 30, because those instruments, they move a lot and they are heavily manipulated. As you can see on gold, there are a lot of wicks, like right there. You see this wick here, that drop here. I mean, if you were to enter like a position here, let's say a buy, and your stop was there, even if price wanted to go up, you would get stop out before price went up. I mean, that was not the case here, but just for an example, you see how this wick dropped here for no reason. I mean, no reason, obviously, that you can see on the chart. And there are a lot of example in gold where you can see a wick just go down and do a lot of damages. Like here, we had an equal lows, and we had a beautiful level here that liquidity was residing below, and price take it out. So we usually have a lot of wicks in those market, US 30, Nasdaq. I mean, not Nasdaq, but US 100. Nasdaq is for futures traders. US 100 and gold, we have a lot of wicks in those, and that's why I usually like to have a bigger stop loss if I'm trading the daily time frame. So as I said, the expectation for gold is for it to go up a little bit, take out this liquidity, and go back to that 1 hour fair value gap. But as we all know, tomorrow is gonna be CPI. I wouldn't take any trades that involves me being short in the market before CPI. I mean, I would advise anybody that wants to trade news to trade after CPI. As ICT used to say, it's like 30 minutes after the news, we have NFP, we have CPI. Those news usually ends up doing two things. Most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time, they ends up doing two movement. The first 30 minutes, you have one movement, and after the first 30 minutes, you have a second movement. Like if the first 30 minutes of the move you have a buy, and definitely you can expect to sell the next 30 minutes. Obviously, you have to look for a good entry and etc. etc. But you definitely have the two movements in most of this news. So considering that we have this big news coming tomorrow, let's see if we can not predict but see what price might be or might want to do. Me, I wouldn't trust the 50%. I mean, I wouldn't trust this fair value gap for retracement. With the news coming, I would expect price to go at at least to the 62% level. As you can see, it comes into in place exactly inside of a up close candle in a bearish move. And also inside of this up close candles, what do we have here? We have a beautiful inversion fair value gap. I really like those. We have a beautiful inversion fair value gap here because I mean I like them because price tends to respect them a lot. In my experience, they have price has a lot of respect for them. Yep. So I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen tomorrow, but my expectation would be to see price have a deep retracement inside of this inversion fair value gap before doing what it wants to do, which is going lower. So that's my opinion on gold right now. Let's go back to USD JPY and see what it does, what it did. So I don't like to trade USD JPY ahead of big news like that because it tends to play around a lot. It tends to play around a lot. As you can see, neither did we have a significant move higher or lower. Price has been slowing down. You see, like a little push up, a little push down, a little push up, a little push down, deep inside the range. Like if you see from this low here to this high here, the retracement was a 75% retracement. So that's not a sign that that is telling me that price wants to go higher right now. I mean, it might want to go higher, but not right now. So you're welcome, Mehdi. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. So as we are seeing here, if we go from this range to this range, from this low to this high, the first retracement was a 62% retracement. And if we go from the newly created range on the 1 minute here, the retracement is 75. It's like price, although it's going up, but it's retracing more and more. And as you can see here, as a proof that price doesn't yet want to go higher, it moved up here and didn't take out this high. So this looks like an equal high up here. Not exactly, but it looks like because this this we can consider usually as a three leg. I mean, Is it? Yes, three leg movement. You see one leg, two leg, and three leg. Usually, if you follow ICT, it talks about it in its 2022 mentorship, and it's for liquidity sweat. If you see that, even though you didn't see any high takens, you can expect price to go in the other direction. So we have seen that here, and those this high failed to take out this high. So that might mean that we are willing right now to go down and take out these lows here. But we're yet to see what price wants to do, as it's very, very, very slow. And we are already 30 minutes inside of the session, 37 minutes to be exact. And if we are measuring this retracement that it just did right here and there, it was again a 75% retracement, and but this time even deeper inside the 75 to 62 range. I mean, no, it was a 62 retracement. Sorry, it was a 62 retracement, almost to the 75 retracement, 62 retracement. So price is still not showing up willingness. Usually, when US 30 wants to move higher, it moves higher. No way, it would have already taken this high up here, last 30 days high, usually. And this is definitely how it equalize to the tick. If you see for this candle, I mean, if it's not taking them out, if you see for this candle, the I was 143,834, and for this candle, the I was the exact same numbers, 143,834. So let's see if price, now we have three highs at this level, almost. This is a bit higher, but we do have three highs here, and that's what we called engineering liquidity. Price is creating a false impression that it's finding resistance up there, and it wants to go lower, and we're gonna have a lot of people coming in, shorting the market and putting their stop loss above here, as they are seeing this resistance up here, and price is gonna go down, take out this low here. It might take out this low here, or it might even go down even more to take out these lows and enter this fair value gap and this inversion fair value gap. So let's wait and see. Mm, seems that it's willing to take out those highs that it just created. Yes, it's taking them out, definitely, or not. Hmm. Not taking them out. So if you can see here, it did take these two equal highs out. So it kind of take liquidity. above these highs, and at the same time creating another high that's almost equal to this one. Let's see how it looks on the 5 minutes. Yep, on the 5 minute, as you can see it.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And as you can see, more willingness in price here to continue to go down. This candle has taken a lot of lows. It hasn't broken structure here yet and here, but let's see.
There's no mercy in this world, just hunger thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to.
Is there any coder in the chat with me today? I'm currently working on a project for to automate one of my strategies, so I'm looking for a coder. If there's any, you can hit me up. I would be interested in collaborating on this project because I have no knowledge whatsoever in coding, nor do I have any friends who is a coder. If you know somebody that might be interested in collaborating on a project for automating a strategy, because the end goal is not to stay in front of a chart day in and day out, hours in and hours out. I mean, MT4, MT5, it doesn't matter, or even Pine script for an indicator for trading view. MT4, MT5, or even Pine script, doesn't matter really, because I know I'm starting from somewhere. It's already what I'm looking for. If it can start from MT4 or MT5, that's okay. Because so far I've been trying to get the most out of ChatGPT, but it's not that good. So we're definitely looking for some expert in the matter. As you can see, price is lethargic. It doesn't want to move higher. It doesn't want to move lower. It doesn't know what it wants to do. It's like you see up, down, up, down, up, down, and no clear directions in price. Hi, Kenny. I'm doing fine. What about you? 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 What about you I believe with the news coming, we can expect, if they want to bring price higher, we can expect this level as target with the news, because that's definitely not a high enough target for the news that's coming tomorrow. So my daily strategy that I have tried to explain yesterday on the live, it works on trending markets. If you have any trending markets, let's say for example, you have this price leg here, you could capitalize heavily on this price leg. After having this big engulfing candle, you have a target down there. That means that price is going to go down, and this big candle lets you know that it's going to go down hard. Because when you see a big candle like that, it tells you that I want to reach down, I want to go down. That's my will, that's what I want to do. And if you can see here with this first big candle, you have retracement in between the 50 and the 25%. And the second candle, if you go inside of it, you didn't really have that much of a retracement. So if you didn't keep that trade running, the first one, because it usually can give you a high risk reward ratio, this strategy, if you catch the beginning of the move, like after having this big up candle, this big down candle, sorry, you can definitely capitalize by having your entry at 25%. If on your higher time frame analysis, you know that there's a target down there that price wants to reach, you can definitely put your stop loss at the 75%. As I said, with a big candle like that and with price wanting to go lower, it shouldn't go above 75%. So you see, if your target, let's say, was this down close candle here, you would have achieved a beautiful, let's say, 1, 2, 4, and with not much pressure, because you only suffer drawdown the first day, and after that it's profit and profit and profit and profit. And that's a good strategy if you don't have time. Like I know it was Caesar that's working, doesn't have a lot of time. That's a good strategy. You would want to do your analysis mainly on the monthly and weekly time frame, and you take your trade on the daily time frame. Like that, you don't have to stay in the chart for long, and also you have the advantage of the day forming after work, usually after work for some people. Like the new day is forming after work. So I believe Caesar said he was coming from work, so at that time you have the new day forming. That means you get your entry, you can set a limit order, or you can wait for it to reach your level and set your entry. But with that trade, market order wouldn't be necessary. A limit order would do it perfectly. You could enter at the 25% right there, and your stop above the 75%. And then you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And that's right there. That's what you call beauty. You don't force it. You definitely don't force it. Set and forget. Definitely set and forget. And let's see here, second setup. You will have your second setup not on this day. I mean, if you are trying to swing trade, like taking those long, those 5 days, weeks, 2 weeks trade setup, you don't take a trade just after a change in direction. Like right now, we were going down, we take out liquidity below this low, and we change direction. You don't take a trade here. You wait. You wait till you see something that tells you that price wants to go high. You see, after this big candle, you have 2 days where the candles were, where the body were thin, and then you have a big day, a big candle here. So you take your setup from this candle, from this low to this high. On this day, you might have hit stop loss. Yes. But because some brokers, they really have high leverage, sorry, not leverage, but high spread, and this could have take you out. But I usually put my stop loss a little bit below, so you would take your entry at 25%, and your stop would be a little bit below 75%, just for spread. In fact, because some brokers, the price might get close to your stop loss, they just manipulate the price and have your stop loss. But when it comes to your TP, price is playing with your TP, but it doesn't want to take it. So yeah, definitely you would have your second setup here, and you would easily make 1 to 3, I believe, here. Yes, even 1 to 3.5. If we are forcing it, it would give you a 1 to 3.5 if we are forcing it. But do you see this beautiful setup? Sorry, that's 2 setup back to back. You had to wait 1, 2, 3, 4 days. After 4 days, you have your second setup, and you get a 1 to 3. So from a 1 to 4 to a 1 to 3, that's 7% in 2 weeks. 4 days, 5 days, 9 days plus 2 days, that's 11 days. Yes, 2 weeks. 2 weeks time, you have 7%. You pass your funded challenge. You definitely, if you're doing even a live account, that would be your first payout. And then you wait. You might not have taken this, because one thing is, once you get funded, it's no longer about percentage. It's no longer about doing high amounts. If you do it, I mean, if it happens, you enter a trade and the trade wants to go higher, you maybe forget about it. Sometimes it happens. You forget about the trade, and when you finally remember, it's like $3,000, $4,000, $50,000 in profit, depending on the account size that you have. So you let it run. You just make sure you're managing your stop loss, moving it along with the price and stuff. But you're not looking for those 10% per month or 8% per month. It's not necessary. What you want to do is increase your capital. Gold is starting to move up to fill that gap you were talking about. Let's see. Gold. It's moving higher a little bit, but I wouldn't trust. I really don't trust gold, US 30, US 100 before news. I really don't trust them. I usually ask people to stay away from them and just watch, sit and watch. Like yesterday, I believe someone asked me on the live to do a review about US 30. it just take out this liquidity here that I mentioned earlier. So on US 30, like I said, I mean, if you go watch the live again, you will see what I said. Stay away. As you can see, it's been like 1, 2, 3, 4 days back to back, and you don't know what price wants to do. It's like on Friday, it did a whole day, take like inside of two big candle range. Monday, it did the exact opposite. Tuesday, it did the exact opposite of Monday, and today, you don't really know what it wanted to do. It just stayed inside of that range. And I believe that with the news coming tomorrow, we should be seeing a breakout from that range, whether below or above. I mean, for me to be able to have a better reading and see have a preference on whether it wants to go up and down, I would have to do a more extensive analysis on both US 30, I mean not US 30, but the futures contract, the YM, ES, and NQ. Usually they move in tandem with the CFDs contract. Like US 30 moves almost the same, not the same, but almost the same as YM. You have ES that moves almost the same as S&P 500, and NQ that moves almost the same as US 100. So analyzing those three at the same time would give you a better understanding of what they want to do, because between themselves they also move in tandem. So you might have a push higher, as we are seeing that price definitely wants to go higher, but we should also consider this big BC, buy side imbalance, sell side liquidity that we have here. So tomorrow we might see a CPI that breaks below this to take out liquidity and also reach into this BC before pushing up. Definitely we can see that tomorrow. I mean, that to me, just looking at it like that to me would be the most logical move for the news. If I were to say that I'm gonna predict the news, that would be the most logical thing. I mean, if price in fact wants to continue going higher forward, I wouldn't want to see it fill this gap entirely. I would want it to leave a little bit of it, but a little bit of it open. Let me see here. Let me just go down a little bit on the lower time frame to see if I have any other. We have nothing here. 4 hours. So we have nothing here on the 4 hour. Let me see the 1 hour here. Yep, on the 1 hour, the BC is definitely divided in two. We have a first fair value gap here and a second here. So if we're marking out this first fair value gap here, it would look like this. And let's go even lower to a 15-minute time frame. See what we have inside of that. And that was in July. Yes, in July. So we don't have really any significant level that we can deduct from that price action, besides this low here. So this low here can represent liquidity that's just an additional confluence to for price. Like for example, if price dip inside of this big fair value gap, I would want it to stay or to close to have only wick down there, nothing, nobody at all below there, but only wick, and see it stay inside there before moving up. If indeed price wants to go higher. So it's 9 past 3 right now. We're just gonna look back at USD JPY and see what it has done so far. Oops, sorry. We are on August 9th. So as we can see, it has, the price is still slow to me. Price is so slow. It gives us liquidity swept here below the slow, but to my it's not interesting to me because it's not that much of a retracement inside the previous day, and I was expecting more. Even this low, I would have expected it to be taken out before taking out those liquidity, those equal highs up there. So far, as you can see, there's no movement in the market. Price is just playing around. There's really no movement in the market, and ahead of CPI, ahead of NFP, you will usually have those, and that's totally normal. You just have to wait for the news to do what it wants to do. And as I said, if you want to trade NFP, if you want to trade CPI, 30 minutes after the news, like if the news comes out at 8:30, you can start looking for entry at 9. If the news comes out at 2, for example, you can start looking for entry at 2:30. Okay, it was a pleasure to be with you here. Vince, Cesar, Roberto, busy grafting. We had Medi and Cesar, which is usual, and we have Kenny. So it's always a pleasure to be with you guys. Hopefully we'll be seeing each other next week, as I'm not gonna be live tomorrow, unfortunately. I mean, it's gonna be a birthday, but we're definitely gonna see each other next week, probably in New York session on Tuesday, and in Asian session as well in the afternoon, and so on. So see you guys. If you want to see definitely my analysis, my analysis on gold for, thank you Roberto, thank you very much. For Medi that was asking about gold, if you want to see my deeper analysis on gold, like from the monthly to the daily time frame and even lower, you can go watch my my Tuesday New York session. I did an extensive analysis on gold on Tuesday morning New York session. You can go watch the live. And I'm planning next week to also do an extensive analysis on US 30, USD JPY, give you try to give you all, some tools, some framework for you to be more aware or more conscious about what price wants to do, and why you should be confident about price going lower or price going higher. So we'll definitely try to talk about those. And also, I've mentioned earlier, guys, if you know any coder, whether it's MT4, MT5, or PineScript, definitely hit me up. You can leave a comment under this live. I will definitely check it out. And take care. Good night for those of you who's gonna sleep, and good morning for those of you who's just waking up. Bye bye.